There's something weird going on with this video. There's like a random light here. As soon as I sit down, I'm just gonna assume that it's my guardian angel just, you know, joining me in the making of this video. So hi guys, welcome. This is my guardian angel. We're gonna name her Miranda. I like the name Miranda. We're gonna name her Miranda, and I'm Mishania. In preparing for this video, I went on Goodreads to, okay, you may pass. You might find safe passage, or may find safe passage. In preparing for this video, I went on to Goodreads to look at all the books because I could remember distinctly 3 books that I read and one that I was reading at the time. And I was like, that can't be it. Let me go on Goodreads and see. So I go on Goodreads, I look at my read books. The only one within the month of August are those 3 books. So I'm like, okay, I know that Goodreads is a shit-ass site, rarely ever updates. Let me go on my Kindle Unlimited to see what books I borrowed. There's a ton of books that I borrowed in August, and then I remembered that I never finished them. I DNF'd so many books in August. But in my defense, I think what happened is that I'd been reading a certain type of book that I really enjoyed in like June and July, and then I get to August and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna continue on this path, and my needs changed, or what I was interested in at that point changed, which happens every few months. Like, you know, I get tired of something because I overread it too much and I need to move on to something new. So I think that's what happened, which is why I DNF'd so many books. Not that they were bad, it was just not what I was looking for. On to the 3 books that I did read. First book was Try Me by Neve Wilder, which I will leave a link to the review that I did here, so I won't go into too much about it. It's a college romance, very smutty. It is the second book in the, what is that series called? It's here. This is the name of the series. It's the second book in that series. It was a good time. I liked it. I think I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, I think. I'm not sure. Go and watch the review. The second book that I read was Unnatural by Alexandra Hazard. Alexandra Hazard is one of my one-click authors that I know whatever book she puts out, it's going to be a good time. There's never a, I'm not sure if I want this right now. I always read her books. Her writing is great. Her stories are really good. They're fast-paced reads that you can really do in one day and have a good time reading it. She's definitely been the cause of some of my book slumps in the past because she writes a very specific kind of book that's, again, really fast-paced, but, and I guess I wouldn't say like out there world building or whatever, but I'm a sucker for good writing and good editing. If you offer me a very well-written book with good writing and some very nice adult scenes, you know, I'm gonna like it. I'm not too picky. So Unnatural is an Omegaverse book, which is, if you watched my tier ranking for tropes, which can be found here, I love that trope. It is one of my favorite tropes, and so, you know, already I was on board. So it's about Senator Royce and Prince Hayden, who are basically forced to get married in order to kind of join their kingdoms. Not really. Their kingdoms are at war, so it's believed that if these 2 powerful people in each kingdom gets married, it will end the war, or at least get it to that point. So it's the joining of what is believed to be an alpha and beta, which already is abnormal for Omegaverse. Omegaverse really is alpha and omega. That's what you often find. The betas are really not involved in stories that often. And here we are again. Betas get kicked to the side because Senator Royce turns out to be an alpha, which we find out early on in the book, and I think is told in the synopsis, so I'm not spoiling anything. And so it's really dealing with this whole testing of loyalty to each kingdom, and dealing with the fact that there are 2 alphas, and we know what comes with 2 alphas in, you know, in an Omegaverse. So it's really kind of like overcoming that, and also setting up this world for books that are going to show up in the next series. This is the first book in the, what is it called? Wrong Alpha series. So not too much world building. And you know what? I'm going to hold off on my in-depth review for an actual review. So let's move on. I did not say anything close to that girl's name. Alexa, stop playing. Okay. Anyway, the next book that I read was Work For It by Talia Hibbert. You might know Talia because of her Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and Take a Hint, Tanny Brown. Is it Tanny Brown? Take a Hint, Danny Brown. I don't know why I keep thinking Tanny. I'm pretty sure it's Danny. So those two books are, I think, her most popular books right now. So I didn't know her to write M/ or queer romance, but I was reading this post on one of the recommendation groups that I'm in on Facebook asking for Black authors, and her name popped up with the Work For It book. And I was like, oh, I recognize this name. Let me look into it. So I picked up the book and immediately was drawn in. It is a hurt comfort book about Keynes and Griffin. So Keynes is betrayed by someone that he cared for and trusted, and he is really having a very bad go of it. He is suffering from depression, I would say anxiety. It's affecting his relationships, both romantic, familial relationships, his friendships, and he's just kind of finding himself being this person who cannot function in society. And so in a way to escape it all, he finds something online that talks about this farm that does this thing yearly, and he decides, why not just like pack up and go and try to escape from the city for a little bit. And there he meets Griffin, who I'm still thinking Griffith, but it's Griffin. There he meets Griffin, who is also going through it in a way too. And at first I don't think you realize how much so. So it's definitely a hurt comfort on both sides, where they help each other to work through things or find a way to work through it. So I really liked it. I will again put my thoughts and feelings. I have a lot of feelings, especially about the book cover. And not all positive, but I really liked the book. I really liked the book. I love Talia's writing style and just how she puts word to paper, if that makes sense. So I'll do a review going into details about that. The next and final book that I read this month is, or I have, I think, 2 or 3 more chapters to go, but today is the 29th, so I'm counting it because I will be done today. It is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I love TJ Klune. TJ Klune is probably one of my top 3 authors. Not probably, is one of my top 3 authors. I love his Green Creek series, which I will talk about later in this video. So I don't know why it took me so long to pick this book up, but I think because I was so focused on Brother Song coming out, I was like, I don't know if I can handle any TJ Klune right now. I'm gonna be craving Brother Song too much. But finally I was like, I want to get this book. This will be the book that I get for the month. So I bought it, and as soon as it came, I was like, I'm gonna finish Work For It and then read this because I want to. And it was good. It was good. It is good since I'm still reading. I have a couple more chapters to go. It is good. I have a lot of thoughts on it that I will put in a review. But for now, it's about this guy, Linus, who works for the department in charge of mythical youth, Daikame. He's sent on this special assignment to observe this special group of kids, 6 kids on this island that are very strong mythical beings, and their orphan master author. Linus has very strict views on how things should be and what his job looks like and what his life looks like. And he gets there and everything kind of just gets thrown out the window. He starts questioning things. Again, I will go into more of a review in another video. I just want to give like a brief synopsis. I think you should pick this book up. No matter what you like reading, TJ Klune is just, I feel like, maybe not an author for everyone, but an author for most people. So, very good book. So this leads into my haul for this month. Like I said earlier, I mentioned that it was my book for the month. I've I don't buy books that often for many reasons that I think I know I keep saying it, but I think I will talk about it more in depth in another video, because I think it's something that should be talked about more in depth. But recently, in order to support authors on a bigger level, I decided that I'm going to start buying at least 1 to 2 books a month. My book haul for this month was obviously The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, and then another favorite author of mine, every time I say this, she wakes up, Alexis Hall. Okay, she didn't wake up this time. Boyfriend Material. I've seen a lot of people talk about this book, but I haven't really been paying attention to it because I just kind of want to go in to it blindly. I did read the synopsis, so I won't go into it too blindly, but yeah, I haven't like watched or read any reviews on it. I know that if it's Alexis, I know if it's this author, I'm going to enjoy the book, so I'm not too worried about it. This will be my next read after this. So today I'll finish with this and then I'll go on to this. And another perfect segue into what's next for September. So definitely going to read Boyfriend Material as my next read, and Brother Song is coming out in October 13th to be specific. I've already pre-ordered, I'm ready for it. But in order to be even more prepared, my plan for September is to read the other 3 books in the Green Creek series. So, Wolf Song, Raven Song, not Love Song. Love Song was like a short story. Heart Song. I'm going to read those 3, and maybe Love Song too. I'm going to read those 3 in September in preparation for Brother Song. Now, I've reread Wolf Song 2 or 3 times, but I don't think I've reread Raven Song or Heart Song. So it'll be good. Definitely not Heart Song. I can't remember if I reread Raven Song. So it'll be exciting to reread this, get back into the characters, and because my memory is really bad, it'll really help me out in reading Brother Song. I won't be too lost in certain things. So that is on my list of things to read. Then, in an effort to kind of get out of my comfort zone, I am going to read Heartstopper by Alice Osman. I think that's how you pronounce her name. So I have read 1 or 2 graphic novels in the past, but not anything that I've really like committed myself to and followed or, you know, made a big deal of. I definitely saw someone on BookTube mention it, and I was like, oh, that cover is beautiful. And so I downloaded the sample, and as I was reading, I was like, it's cool, but eh. And then I got to the end of the sample, and I'm like, I need to know more. So I love how pretty the book is, and I think it's something that I want to be able to have and hold in my hand. So I think that will be my book for September that I buy, including, I think, the entire Green Creek series. I have them on ebook, but I definitely, that series means so much to me that I think I want it on my bookshelf. So I think that will be my books that I buy for next month. I am not really one usually to plan out what I'm going to read, so this is unusual. It helps that I already have a plan of what I want to do for Brother Song, so it helps that I can plan out in that way, and I already have this book. I'm not making any promises on Heartstopper though. I'm bad at like planning out. I'm usually somebody who reads a book and then from there look up reviews of new books that came out or highly recommended books on the book review groups that I'm in on YouTube and also on BookTube, and then go from there. So very much just kind of like winging it throughout the month. But I think I have a clear idea of what I plan on doing for next month. Anyway, that's it for August. I will see you guys in September. Bye.